A few months ago, I reacted to 3 songs by Yellow Magic Orchestra, and it's one of those videos and it seems that people really enjoyed it. So I thought, well, why not react to the first album by Yellow Magic Orchestra while having some Japanese snacks? I hope you're excited, I'm excited, let's get to it. My first snack choice is this. Cheesy, delicious. Can't go wrong with that. Now let's listen to some music. The first song is Computer Game Theme from the Circus. Anticipating its sound, very chiptune music, which of course they kind of pioneered. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't think I'll be listening to that one again. It was just a bit overwhelming. We're gonna go on to the next one, which is Firecracker, which I've heard snippets of before, but never the full song. Love that reverby snare. Very reminiscent of what would come for the 80s. This is a good moment to point out that Firecracker appears to be a cover of Firecracker by Martin Denny. But it is worth noting that the complexity Yellow Magic Orchestra did add to the music through their harmonies, rhythmic movements, and counter melodies, as well as the addition of new musical sections that the original didn't have, is what makes this version really enjoyable to my ears. If I put this song to a video game, I would very much believe it's very much suited, and it just goes to show how influential they were in creating that chiptune music which became so iconic into video games that we all love. Having that arpeggiating just keeps it all moving. Melody, the synth, I know that in synth sounds you can create, so there's either an octave above, lower, or whatever interval really, you can create that. So I don't know if that is just one synth and that has built into the sound, or it is 2 synths and they're playing it below. I wanted to demonstrate what I was mentioning here. So there are multiple parameters that can be tweaked in a synth, and currently when I play a note in this synth, you will only hear one pitch. But by adding an additional oscillator and playing with the parameters, I can now have 2 pitches playing at the same time while I only still play that same one note, which can add a lot of interesting sounds when playing a melody. It's really cool to play around with. It's very like joyful, I'm just loving it. And the one thing I'm thinking about that particular synth sound, it sounds like it's been almost designed to kind of sound like a string within all the other synth sounds I've chosen. Also to mention, I love how they had the piano before, kind of freshens up the ears for me, especially amongst all the synths. And now it's all stripped down. Ooh. And they had that particular drum sound in the first song. Love it, strip it all down to the percussion. I love that there's like organic sounding drums and artificial sounding drums. It creates a really interesting sound. And now this is like the tension of the song. Oh! And now it's released into what we know. That bass is like working hard. I love it's like a xylophone. It's like looping. I can hear a sustained high pitch string. Was that the end? I've mentioned this before, but choosing sounds to go together to not sound too similar, but also distinct enough, but like not like it's out of place, is such a skill set. And from what I've heard from Yellow Magic Orchestra, that was a skill that they have, and I hope to hear more of that. This one is called, I don't know how to pronounce it, Simoon? That's so cool. Like that modulation of the synth there, so nice. And you have these like really organic shakers happening in the background, just such a nice contrast. Like this before. Are their voices going through a vocoder or something similar to that? Percussive rhythm, and then you have so many different percussive sounds that just keep it really interesting. I feel like there's a bass drum, kick drum really prevalent right now. Like it's got a warmth to it as well, which is probably a way to describe it, but beautiful high keys. That's making me I don't like that sound. Like a riser at the end with a lot of noise, like wind sounds. That song was a very nice atmosphere. If this is a song you would like me to break down, I'm having an idea. If you comment down below with a question or a request for me to analyze a portion of one of these songs, type Encore ... and then your question or your comment or whatever, and then that way I can search and make a separate video addressing your comments. We can chat more about this album in general, analyze some things more in depth, and that way people who are interested in that can watch that and it'll be like nice that way. I'm just gonna nibble on another snack. I have this. Oh, very appley. This one is called Cosmic Surfin'. So I'm expecting to hear some kind of typical space video game sounds, like pew pew pew. Everything else got it right with the guess. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that nice black synth. Oh, this is a vibe. And they strip it away to the percussion of the bass. That technique they have there where they strip everything away down to percussion is something I commented a lot that the Beatles did a lot as well. Can you hear the descending line very slightly mixed just after the main? It's like a call response thing almost. That sounds like a very voice synth. It's just very joyful. And it's fading away. And then you got some, it almost sounds like birds chirping. This is a computer game theme from The Invader. So is this from like Space Invaders or it's a play off that? Similar to the first song. Entering this song is almost just like an intermission song, like before and I don't know. Okay, don't have much to say. Okay, this is Tonku. I've heard it before. It's kind of great. It is great. joy. This song is joy. It's just something about the composition of it. Ah! I forgot that there was lyrics singing in this. Boing, boing. And then you have the vocals pairing up with the synths just to add more tonal quality to it, which is nice. Her voice is so airy, this singer. Something interesting to point out, we have the synth and then we have the vocals like doubling it. It's interesting to point out how different an atmosphere can be created just by combining different tonal qualities. Like we've heard this melody prior without the voice, so now having the voice on it, it creates a different feeling. Just like right now, because her voice is so airy, it creates to me a very kind of sensual sort of feeling. So, you know, interesting to see how doubling a melody with a different tonal quality vibe can do that. Okay, let's listen. I just love that boing sound. I just think it's funny. And again, they're stripping it down to the bass. See? Very effective to suck it back in and then build back up. And then you have the piano doubling it in the lower register, and then you're gonna have the synth come back. Yeah, they're just building layer by layer. They're teaching you how to write this song. Like if there was a voice doubling now, it would be a very different feeling. Also notice how the melody is very legato, like and then you have this synth under it which is very staccato and sharp, so it has that contrast, so everything sounds engaging because there's contrast happening. Oh, I forgot this ending. You have so many different rhythms happening, it's so sparse yet so effective. The next song I have no idea how to pronounce. This song, let's go. Oh, and it carries on from Tonku, which is great. We love that. I really like this. Helps keep the song moving. And they have this other synth which is like a whooshing sound underneath, which helps give that harmony. Why is this pretty? Something just to point out earlier there, so dun 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 dun. That is staying the same, but the bass movement is changing, which is changing the way we view that main melody because the underneath melodic movement has changed. I just call it that. Like, the main melody hasn't changed, it's the bass that has changed that makes us interpret the melody differently. So let me demonstrate what I meant. So here is the melody played in octaves. As you can see, it repeats twice. And then when the bass is added in, it changes how we hear the melody. So the bass is playing in octaves, jumping up and down. And it's also doing that in the second section, however, playing a different melodic line. The bass line appears to be using the same chords, but it alters in playing the root, fifth, or the third, which changes how we hear the main melody. Let's hear it all together. Beautiful moment.
C'est noir brillant, des petits pieds enlacés. C'est noir brillant, des petits pieds enlacés.
Strip it all down, that's a thing that they do. Very distorted guitar. You know, same melody, octave higher, both, so it's like stands out more to you. It's interesting the mix, the synth and the vocals are almost competing, like the vocal still stands out, but it's very close.
Discrétion noiraude, Confucius, livre rouge, arrière.
Is this leading into the next song? What is the next song? Such a smooth transition. having that really piercing synth, especially in the high end, and then stripping all that down and just having those like percussion and vocals is so effective, because that synth can be quite full on. To just strip it all back down, like I find that again is such an effective technique, sucking the audience back in. And it so seamlessly transitioned to the next song and I didn't even notice. So the title of that song was Bridge Over Troubled Music, which to me is a reference to Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel, which is a terrific song. I think the only resemblance though is that in the titles more so than the music itself, but something cool that I just noticed. For the last song, let's try this. Kit Kat banana flavor. I've never had that. I don't think we have that here in Australia. Oh, I thought that would be gooey. Not bad. Not like excellent, but not bad. And this one's called Mad Pudet. I'm so sorry about pronunciations. Let's listen. There are so many sounds. Nice descending like a arpeggiator, it sounds like. Something songwriting to point out. So they had that, to me it sounds like a descending arpeggiator. They had the main melody synth, then they stripped the synth away and they went into a new section, but they maintained that descending arpeggiator. So one thing I learned about songwriting was that when you're going from section to section, if you don't want them to sound like they're too disconnected, disjointed, carry an element from section A to go into section B, so when you introduce new elements in B, it's still weirdly connected. I hope that made sense. Why do I enjoy this vocal effect so much? It's just... That to me sounds like a synth ooh rather than a voice ooh, but I could be wrong. Strip it all down. That was cool. I have a couple questions going in my head. First off, how on earth do they perform this live, especially with the percussion? Is there like an electronic drum loop kind of going and they have a real drummer and then the rest of them are playing all the instruments? I could probably watch some videos on YouTube and find out. Are there any parts of these songs you would like me to break down a little bit for the encore? Do you have any comments or questions or theories or stories about how Yellow Magic Orchestra affect you? I'd love to read and we can all kind of talk about it together. And should I listen to the second album? Let me know. Thank you so much for being here and until next time, bye.